everybody, Tony D with another hot take. I think this will be a short one. There is an escalation that's really starting to happen now. And this is with Antifa. And Antifa, if you haven't been following the news about Antifa, if you argue with the idiots online who defend them, they'll first say, well, Antifa doesn't really exist. Or they'll say, well, Antifa is an idea. It's not really an organization. It's not exactly true. They don't have it's an umbrella term for a lot of groups who are loosely related to one another, but all very, very lefty. And there are leaders, there are organizations, they do make money, and they do call themselves Antifa, but it's very ephemeral, the term and the organization, because it's so loose, because they don't believe in a hierarchy. So what they end up with is, when they have enough people, a default hierarchy emerges. The most willful rise to the top, and as more and more people get on board, they say, maybe we can make some money here and do more, or maybe we can make some money and put it in my pocket. I could do more if I just didn't have to work for capitalism. So that has been happening for a few years now in the United States. So you have branded merchandise for some of the branches of Antifa, and you have morons on the internet who are defending them because it's trendy and woke to do that. I really dig Antifa, and I like hang out with those guys, and they're my friends, and I went down to the bar and there's a bunch of Antifa guys there. I'm thinking of joining, and it's all trendy and woke. That's what it's really about. Right now, it's the cool thing to do. So in Provo, Utah, there was a protest, and Provo is not a super big town, but I guess it's a big town or a small city. So, and I just watched the video, and I was gonna do a video where I show you it, but I didn't want to show it because I was afraid YouTube might flag it. So you can hunt it down by searching for like Provo, Utah, Antifa shooting. Because what happens is one of the Antifa idiots pulls out a gun and actually shoots into the car. So a woman's trying to drive down the street, and the protesters are blocking the street, so she's like beeping and yelling, and she's kind of inching forward, and they're getting on her car, which is so stupid. I mean, it's beyond stupid. Blocking the street is not a protest. It's a nuisance that doesn't get a message across. The only message you're getting across is, hey, fight me. So she kind of like pushes up a little bit, and they start sort of banging on her car and getting in her grill, not her face, because she doesn't get out of the car. And then suddenly, out of the crowd, and you can see it on the video, a guy shoots into the car, and he's total Antifa. He's got the hoodie and the mask and everything, and they're going to find him because his outfit was fairly distinctive, and he shot into a car. That's attempted murder. He's going to jail. He's going to jail for a long time. Then she takes off, and he shoots after the car, shoots through the back window. They're going to find him. There's going to be ballistic evidence. He's screwed. He's screwed for life. He's going to do hard time, this guy, whoever it is. And over what? Over what? You were blocking the street, and a mob of idiots surrounded the car. And there's been riots for weeks all over the news. This isn't happy fun time. These riots don't end with people handing candy to the drivers of local cars. It ends with people throwing Molotov cocktails or smashing their windows or pulling them out of the car and beating them. So to stand in front of the car, you're an idiot. You're just an idiot at this point. You know what you're doing. You're provoking the driver purposely. And so, and then to bring a gun, this is a huge escalation now. So you've got an Antifa protester who just brought a gun just in case. In case what? You're not the cops. You don't get to defend yourself after you provoke people. That's not how it works, right? You know, if you're in your own house and you provoke somebody to come in, you can't kill them. You'd go to jail for murder. If somebody breaks into your house and you end up killing them, that's a different story. That's self-defense. If you're attacked and you in your own home it's by somebody who breaks in, that's a different story. But if you lure the guy in, you can't assault or kill them. That's essentially what you've done here. You've provoked people and then attack them when they respond. This is not good. This is an escalation. If people are going to bring guns to these things, then at some point the cops are going to be unleashed on protesters. And not only that, think about the dynamics of this. This idiot pulls out a gun and shoots into a car which is surrounded by protesters. That bullet could have easily passed through the windows of the car and hit a protester on the other side of the car, easily. It's a miracle it didn't happen, quite frankly, when you watch the footage. And when he shot after the car, that bullet could have went anywhere. This guy isn't a cop. At least I don't think he is. I mean, he might be, but I doubt it. That is wildly irresponsible. Wildly. Could have shot one of your own guys, you moron. Forget about, all the charges. Set aside that for a minute, although I think you're an a-hole. But you could have shot one of your own guys and killed them. Imagine that. So if you're going to these Antifa protests, think twice. Think twice. I mean, guys are bringing guns now. This isn't the first shooting related to an Antifa protest or sit-in or whatever you want to call it. The guy who opened up and started shooting into the Louisville, Kentucky encampment or whatever it is, he was in the encampment. He was in Antifa and BLM. He was one of the protesters. But he was so out of his mind or whatever, he was homeless. He was causing so much trouble, apparently. I don't know that for sure. I've read the article. Apparently he caused so much trouble, they kicked him out. Imagine how much trouble you have to be kicked out of a BLM Antifa protest. That you got to be probably out of your mind. Anyway, he came back and shot up the place, and I think someone died. The guy who got hit was a journalist. It wasn't even a guy he was aiming at. He was just shooting into the encampment. That's pretty crazy. And finally, we've got a guy in New York, and this just hit Twitter. He's addressing a crowd of woke idiots, part of a protest. He's got a megaphone, and apparently someone was already arrested for doing some woke idiocy. This guy announced to the entire crowd and the internet that if his friend wasn't released, he'd burn down Plaza One, which, if you don't know what Plaza One is in New York, that's like the headquarters of the police in New York. Friend of a friend, he actually worked there. It's like the top cops. This guy threatened to burn down Plaza One. That is a terroristic threat, and that is illegal. Definitely shouldn't be on. If that was on Facebook or Twitter, that would be taken off under normal circumstances. So, if it was a right-wing guy doing it. Left-wing guy, apparently, well, he's angry. So, we got to let it go. That guy's probably going to jail, too. Whether he, follows through with his threat or not. He's probably going to jail. If he actually follows through in his threat, it'll be a lot longer. If not, I mean, I think he'll just be picked up eventually for making terroristic threats against the police. You're not allowed to do that. I mean, you know, that was originally part of the left's deal, that they were upset that people in marginalized groups would get threatened like that. But now they're cool with threats. They're cool with threats if it's the correct people to threaten, quote unquote. So the violence in Antifa is ticking up, and it is pretty deadly. I mean, that's all potentially, deadly violence. So these woke idiots are really digging a hole for themselves. When you shoot at somebody in a moving vehicle, the cops can't let that go. No matter how much you intimidate them, they can't let that one go. Threatening to burn down Plaza One, no, they can't let that one go either. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how many of these woke idiots actually go to jail. And they should. They should go to jail. They should get a wake-up call. Jail would be their wake-up call, right? You know, after 2 or 3 years in jail, they'd start to finally go, yeah, you know, maybe I really misjudged this. maybe there are really horrible people. I've been locked up with these prisoners. Man, every one of them's worse than the next. I think when these people go to prison, they're really going to be confronted by that reality. That, yeah, most prisoners are incredibly guilty, if not of the crime they actually got arrested for, of a bunch of other stuff they never got caught for. And that they're willing to do almost anything to get over on you. Lie, cheat, steal, beat you up. So maybe some of these college students would go to jail and maybe have a change of heart. I don't know. Personally, I think this trend's going to die. And I'm going to talk about that in another video. This one's getting a little long. Let's make it a BitChute exclusive. Another one. 5th video. BitChute. Meet me there.